Well, it's just past 1:45 a.m. early Tuesday morning here in downtown Circleville. And while the city sleeps and dreams of this week's pumpkin show, Lindsey's Bakery just started the process to create their world's largest pumpkin pie. And for the first time in TV history, we're going to show you how it's made.
Everyone knows about Lindsey's pumpkin donuts. They're iconic. And the team labors nonstop through the night to pump out thousands upon thousands of these sugar roundabouts ready to be eaten by happy customers. While that is impressive, another gorgeous feat is happening during the third shift right across the table. Burt Miller is hard at work making their giant pumpkin pie. It's a tradition that started in the early 1950s when Burt's grandfather purchased the shop. His daughter, the late great Katie Miller, took over in the 80s. And in 2001, her sons, Burt and his brother Zach, became the pumpkins of the bakery. At one point, they even held the Guinness World Record for making a pumpkin pie 18 feet in diameter. This one's a little easier to manage, but still huge at 5 feet 4 inches across. Burt begins with the crust, and he's got a lot of dough, about 75 pounds worth. Chunk by chunk, he grabs, smacks, flours, and rolls it out in portions that can fit on the table. Then, like a pastry burrito, he transfers it to the metal pan and opens it back up. He repeats this process over and over again to cover the base of the pan, patching and carving as he goes, flattening the fresh edges, and tossing away the scraps for later. I think I'll sneak in a pumpkin donut real quick. Speaking of, did you know they're available year-round? Anyways, once the bottom is complete, Burt moves on to the circumference, or the sides. More dough, more patting, and more rolling, except this time into longer spreads, using his pizza cutter to slice thinner slabs for the angled metal. Burt then shapes the dough up and around the top lip and joins the bottom. Rotate and repeat. For this last piece of the pie puzzle, you can see him double up the layers of dough for just the right thickness, using water like a glue to join the pieces together. Few more adjustments, and
Circleville, we have full coverage.
Next step is to trim the ends of the lip for a nice straight edge. Another scrap toss, and now the finishing touch, literally. Burt presses his thumbs down to create a perfect ripple effect all the way around the 201 inches of the pie. Now that the crust is complete, it's time for the filling! Well, not quite yet. The filling alone is about 300 pounds, so they add that once the pan crust is in the oven. And in order to get it in there, they have to line up the rotating trays in the front and back, placing metal bars across for support. Burt gets a little help from Josh, and in she goes. Now comes the filling, an orange blend of pumpkin, eggs, water, sugar, and other secret and not-so-secret ingredients. With his tried-and-true plastic measuring cup, Burt scoops liquid pie filling into the narrow opening of the oven, avoiding any burns to his arm in the process. Now, I lost count of how many times he went back and forth, but it took about 10 minutes. It's not the most conventional way, but hey, it's worked for 70 years. With the bottom of the metal bowl in sight, Burt pours his final scoop of pumpkin filling into the pie pool. He takes one last look at the glorious monstrosity and, after a thumbs up of approval, lets it bake. 6 to 8 hours at 350 degrees later, it's finally done. And my gourdness, isn't she beautiful?